Think about it. There must be higher love. Down in the heart or hidden just us, but without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart and I look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, the word is fair. We walk blind and try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Bring higher love. Bring higher love. Bring higher
I saw the sun begin to dim and felt that winter wind blow cold.
A man learns who is there for him when the glitter fades and the walls won't hold.
Cause from that rubble, what remains can only be what's true. If all was lost, there's more I gained, cause it led me back to you. From now on, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. From now on, what's waited till tomorrow starts tonight.
Let this promise in me start.
Like an anthem in my heart.
From now on, from now on, from now on, and we will come
Welcome to the first ever Leo Advisor Conclave hosted by the Young Lions Task Force. I am Jordan Glass-Williams, and I serve as the Young Lions Task Force chairperson. I'm honored to be here today with you representing our team. You will hear from several of our team members as well as esteemed guests throughout the conclave today. The Young Lions Task Force has had a team focused on Leos and Leo retention conversion rates. As a part of this solution, the Young Lions Task Force is hosting the first ever Leo Advisor Conclave today. Over the past year and a half, the Young Lions Task Force Leo Lion Focus Team has been working closely with the Lions Club's International Young Lions and Leo Department to develop tools and strategies to transition more Leos into Lions. As a team, we have always felt that we needed to engage and educate our Leo advisors. We felt like they held the key. We hope we can all work together to close the gap on the extremely low Leo to Lion transition rate of just 2.5% by empowering each other with the knowledge that we have. In CA1 and CA2, over 70% of our Leo membership is Alpha. It's important that our Lion advisors and faculty advisors in school-based Leo clubs are empowered with the knowledge about the different membership approaches young Leos can take to carry their service journey forward. Keeping that in mind, we have developed a tool for Leo advisors called the Leo Lion Service Journey, a manual tracker form that could be used by the Leo advisors to gather information on graduating Leos from both Alpha and Omega Leo clubs. The information can then be shared with district Leo chairs and multiple district Leo chairs to provide adequate assistance to graduating Leos to make the smooth transition. The tool was developed and shared with the Lions Club's International Membership Department with the hope that at some point in the future, the process can be automated and implemented for all to use. As part of the conclave today, we wanted to bring all of the advisors from CA1 and CA2, multiple district chairs, and district chairs together under one umbrella. Thank you for joining us today for the first ever conclave, and we hope to hold additional ones in the future to continue to empower all of us to help close the transition gap and to also empower the Leos and Young Lions. PDG Wendy joins us today to offer some insights on leadership and mentoring. Wendy has served as district governor for 12N and has been elected and appointed to numerous positions at the club, district, and multiple district levels. She is currently serving as the chairperson for the USA-Canada Lions Leadership Forum for Des Moines 2021. Lion Wendy's passion is learning and leadership development and recognizing that improving our leadership skills and capabilities has a ripple effect that helps us serve with greater impact. Wendy is a progressive Melvin Jones Fellow and has received International President's Awards, the International President's Leadership Award, and numerous International President's Certificates of Appreciation. Lion Wendy is the biggest advocate of young Lions and Leos that I know. She believes strongly in empowerment and has been the mentor to help numerous young Lions and Leos succeed. It is an honor to have her here with us today.
You are not here merely to make a living. You are here to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. This is perhaps my all-time favorite quotation from United States President Woodrow Wilson from an address to Swarthmore College about 100 years ago. I think of it often, and it serves as a guide to me. Enabling others and the world around us, having a vision of the future, and sharing hope by encouraging others. Indeed, enriching the world. These are the things of which leadership is made. I am so proud to be a part of this Leo Advisor Conclave, and I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. My message today is primarily geared toward Leo advisors and potential advisors. But regardless of your role with Leos or Lions clubs, you are going to gain a greater appreciation for your own potential and the potential of others, no matter their age, to be leaders. And you'll also pick up strategies to develop 4 building blocks that will increase your influence, inspiration, and impact to be a leader. The information on these slides and some of the quotes I'll share will be available in a handout, so I hope you'll think about what I share rather than worrying about writing things down. One of my strongest convictions about leadership is that leaders don't need titles. Sure, some people have titles, but leadership is not limited by title. Most people who influence where clubs are going, where corporations are going, where schools are going, in fact, where whole countries are going, are not the chief executives of those organizations. Leadership occurs up, down, and around in organizations, and influence happens everywhere. A definition of leadership that I've adopted is intentionally using my influence for a worthwhile cause. Now, everyone who is willing has the potential to lead and influence others in certain areas. And the cool part is, you get to decide what is worthwhile. As a Leo advisor, you've decided that working with our young people is a worthwhile cause, and I thank you for that. And Leo members can also think about a specific activity, project, or cause that you're passionate about. In these days and times, everyone will need leadership skills. Our Leo clubs need advisors and members to develop the skills that will improve your influence, inspiration, and impact to the benefit of your worthy cause. That will help create a snowball effect to improve our whole society. So let's take a look at the first building block. Learning. Now, the Leos who are still in school may not want to hear this, but effective leaders have a commitment to lifelong learning. Developing as a leader is a journey. You obviously have made a commitment to learning by spending your free time on a Saturday to be a part of this event. As a Leo advisor, it's really important to know about the Lions organization and the opportunities that are available to Leo and Lions members. Here are a few examples. Lions Orientation can provide an overview of the history, structure, and programs. Many Lions sponsor a youth exchange program between countries. I found that many Leos are interested in this youth exchange, but they might not learn about it if the advisor doesn't help to make that connection that it's a possibility. There is a USA-Canada Leo Leadership Forum, which will be virtual this year, July 21st through 23rd, and you can check that out at leosforum.org or encourage your Leos to check it out. One of my favorite learning events is the USA-Canada Lions Leadership Forum, which will be in Des Moines, Iowa, September 9th, 10th, and 11th this year. You can also learn more about it at lionsforum.org. There are also countless resources available to Leos, advisors, and other Lions online. 2 that have a lot of valuable resources are lionsvirtual.org and lionsuniversity.org. As an advisor or any type of leader, you do not have to have all of the answers. But by learning what you can, you also build your network of people who can help serve as resources in so many different areas that again can benefit the worthwhile cause that you are passionate about or that your Leos are passionate about. Our next building block to influence, inspire, and impact others is empower. Empowering others is all about doing what you can to enable them to grow or succeed. Leo advisors are often in a mentoring role for the Leo members. But I encourage you to also think about this in reverse, because there are so many ways that Leos can mentor one another and how they can mentor Lions members or the advisors. Just like you don't need a title to be a leader, you don't need a title to be a mentor. Anyone who has an interest in enabling others can serve in this capacity. It can be as simple as talking to a new member or a first-timer at an event who may be uneasy, and show them the ropes or help them know what to expect out of the event. Keep in mind that while you might have experiences, information, or ideas that can hasten their learning curve, you don't want people to do everything the way that you did it. You want to empower them to be their best, not a clone. So how they use your input really rests with them. Help them unconditionally. Don't be offended if they don't want to do something the same way that you did it, or if they want to do it a little bit differently. If they bring an idea to your club, be the first to endorse it. So I would challenge all of you to start acting as a mentor for a new member, an up-and-coming leader, or just someone that you see who can use a little support. There are a few other things that you can do as a leader to empower and enable those you influence. Identify meaningful and challenging ways for people to contribute to the organization's needs. Ask for input or ideas. Show confidence in them by acting on the information or ideas that they share or enabling others to act on it. Help people feel capable to carry out their roles. Arrange for training or development alternatives to help them acquire skills, knowledge, or the abilities that they need. Provide positive and developmental feedback if appropriate. Share and celebrate what went well. Get their perspectives on what they would do differently. And mentor or coach them on how to react or to respond to something that maybe didn't go as planned. There are so many ways to mentor or empower others, and how you choose to do this will be affected by this next building block for improving your influence, inspiration, and impact. Your attitude. There is so much that I've learned and observed about your attitude's impact on others, and I'm just going to touch on a few highlights today. Your attitude determines your approach to life, your mood, your outlook on life in general, and your outlook on specific situations or circumstances. Your attitude also determines the quality of your relationships, your opinion of people, and the type of people who are attracted to you. Enthusiasm, optimism, and passion attract other like-minded people. Think about, or maybe ask someone close to you, what does your attitude say about you? And then think, is that the message that you want to be sending? Your attitude affects the way you perceive the world, but just as important, your attitude affects the way others, the world, perceives you. Your attitude is a choice. Sometimes in the midst of disappointment or struggle, we might forget this. There's tremendous power in the words that you use, the things that you say to yourself and to others. Do you use words that have a positive energy? Words that lift you up and lift up those around you? Or do you justify your attitude based on what people say or do to you? It is so easy to complain and blame, but in reality, it's what you say to yourself that has the greatest influence in your life. Your attitude affects your expectations of others and their expectations of themselves. Build people up and encourage them. Most people don't have faith in themselves, but they can tell when someone else has faith in them. And most people will do anything to live up to your faith in them. I've certainly noticed this within myself. How about you? The German writer Johann Wolfgang Goethe once said, "Treat a man as he is, and he will remain as he is. Treat a man as he can and should be, and he will become as he can and should be. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become." Now, there's quite a bit of research on this, and if you are an educator, you have probably heard of the Pygmalion effect. I'll spare you the research, but the bottom line is this. The expectations that you have for others are very powerful. When you communicate the expectations that you have for others, you create a driving force that moves them in the direction of your expectations. Just think about the kind of influence that you have over other people simply by communicating your expectations of them. It influences their expectations of themselves. And it almost goes without saying that this influence is very much affected by your attitude and the type of label that you choose to put on others. So take a moment to think about the influence you have on others through your expectations of them. Family members, friends, co-workers, Leos. Is your behavior communicating your belief in them and their abilities? Are you choosing to build them up? Our final building block for improving your influence, inspiration, and impact is dreaming. Your attitude will affect your perspective of what's possible for yourself, other people, your worthwhile cause, and society as a whole. Dreams are everything for a leader. A dream can give you direction or purpose. A dream can increase your potential, but also your ability to reach your potential. A dream can help you prioritize. With so many opportunities and tugs on your time, your dream can help serve as a sort of compass for where you focus your time, energy, or other resources. And a dream really helps predict the future. Walt Disney said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." And practically every organization or movement begins with a dream or a vision that invents that future. All effective leaders have a vision of what you see as possible for the future or the impacts that you want to have. Visions are statements written in the present tense, as if they're true today, and visions should be inspiring. I want to share a couple of examples with you. From the Starship Enterprise, to explore new worlds, discover new civilizations, seek out new life forms, and to boldly go where no one has gone before. Now that's inspiring and memorable, since I'm betting many of you were saying it with me. How about this one from Microsoft? A personal computer on every desktop in every home. Now, it amazes me that Bill Gates had this vision back in 1975. If you were alive in 1975, I want you to think about what your lifestyle was like then. I can tell you my home didn't even have our first microwave or video cassette recorder at that point, and he had this vision. Now, we all have personal computers in our pockets, and VCRs are an ancient technology. How about a little closer to home? Lions Clubs International. To be the global leader in community and humanitarian service. As a Leo or a Lion, does this inspire you? Can you see this as possible for the future? Unfortunately, in today's busy society, most of us don't take the time to think about and reflect upon what we want or what the possibilities could be. As a leader, take that time to reflect and have a vision for your sphere of influence. whether it's your Leo club, a specific project, or even yourself. When we use the term vision, we tend to think of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, or John F. Kennedy proclaiming in 1961 that the United States would land a man on the moon by the end of the decade. Those were grand visions for sure. But consider the thoughts of Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Research the roots of any movement or cause that's important to you, and I feel pretty good that you'll find this to be the case. Small groups of passionate, committed people are changing the world. So consider how you, through the words of the great humanitarian Mahatma Gandhi, will be the change that you want to see in the world. There you have it, 4 building blocks of learn, empower, attitude, and dream. Whether you are a Leo advisor, a potential advisor, a Leo lion, or a lion, I hope this serves you to help you improve your influence, inspiration, and impact through leading others. And as I close, I want to take us back to where I started. You are not here merely to make a living. You are here to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. We need you to lead. Decide today to use your influence for a worthwhile cause that will indeed enrich the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PDG Wendy, for the genuinely very useful and inspiring tips on leadership and mentoring. We will now move on to the Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and we will be asking it in the next couple of minutes. But we have a question here already. So sponsoring Lions clubs often almost have an ownership feeling about their Leo club. And the Leos are invited to do Lions service projects, or they're told to do certain projects by their sponsoring Lions clubs, but often missing the point that this is a youth leadership program. What do you have to say about that?
I really do think it's important that the Lions members who are not involved day to day with the Leo. So hopefully the Leo advisors have one perspective, but we want Leos to be a part of and know about our Lions Club's activities. But I think that general Lions membership needs to be better educated on those purposes of Leo programs and the fact that the Leos are excited about creating their own projects. And sure, they may want to participate and pitch in and help with Lions projects, but that shouldn't be an obligation or an expectation. That we need to look for opportunities for Leos to take on leadership roles in planning projects. And maybe there are some ways that can be done with the sponsoring club, but it's more important that Leos have the ownership of their own projects and Lions support them in that aspect. But I think it all comes down to educating the other Lions about those purposes.
Mm-hmm. And we have a question from the chat here. How do we get Leos to want to become Lions and not just feel like they are being compelled to become Lions?
I would suspect that probably some of the Leo Lions or Leos that are part of your task force have a better perspective on this than I do. So hopefully you'll keep that question handy and also pick it up later in the conclave. But yeah, I'll offer my perspective now in that, again, Leos need to see that Lions have opportunities for them to contribute. Not just be an extra set of hands to do Lions projects, but that you have a seat at the table in making decisions, sharing ideas, and planning those projects. And I think if Leos can see that, then they will want to be a part of Lions clubs. a lot of times the Leo to Lion transition occurs at the same time as many Leos go through a life transition. So they may be going to a new city for school or employment. And, I was not in a Leo club when I was younger, but I was involved with Lions from a very young age. And when I graduated and moved away, the Lions family finding and seeking out Lions gave me an immediate connection in a new community that I would not have otherwise had. And so how can we, I think there's a way that we can help convey that opportunity to Leos as they go into new communities and start new phases of their lives.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We have one kind of regarding Leo advisors as well. So as an advisor, how can we identify leaders in their Leo club other than the executive, especially those who are more silent leaders?
Yeah, I think that young people, and this actually applies to Lions Club members as well as Leos, although many times Leos are at an age where they're still kind of developing their confidence and a lot of other growth aspects through the teen years. But I think it's something that we can all learn from, and that is to really get to know the members of our club, whether that's me as a Lions member, really getting to know the interests and passions, hobbies, skills that maybe they don't get to use in our club, but we can take advantage of. I think that also applies to Leo advisors and really, getting to know the Leo members that are in their clubs and look for ways to help them get involved in areas that they're comfortable with. Because if they can do something that they're comfortable with, then it'll expand their confidence as they see that it will grow as they do more or different things and take on different activities. But starting with things that are more in their wheelhouse will certainly help them get involved. But that's a really great question, and it's a good reminder and a lesson, I think, for all of us that the best way to do any of these things and to help empower others is to really get to know our members at a deeper level.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the last question, and the next speaker will also be introduced by Jordan Williams. But this question is a more administrative question. Sometimes Leo clubs get embroiled in district politics. So if there's an established community of Leo clubs that works in through local middle schools or high schools, but there are two Lions clubs in that same school district. So the question is sponsoring a Leo club more important for a Lions club than establishing a successful leadership program in the community that every student wants to join?
That's an interesting question, and I think the Lions Club just needs to be intentional about what their purpose is. As Jordan mentioned in my intro, I'm passionate about leadership development, and so I'm intrigued by the concept if a Lions Club is interested in developing a program that helps establish or improve leadership skills that would be available to all students or young people in the school or the community. That's very intriguing to me. And that can be done through service projects or other things. But as far as kind of combining that leadership development and social aspects of the club with serving in the community, if the club wants to reinforce and foster that with the young people, then the Leo clubs is definitely the way to go. So I could see a benefit to both, but I would recommend that the clubs just be intentional on what their purpose is. And thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, thank you so much, PDG,
Sure.
Wendy. Amazing speech as always.
Thank you.
And now we will move on to our next speaker, who will be introduced by Jordan Williams.
Lion Krisha is currently serving as the district governor of 5SE. Over the years, she has worked with leader dogs, participated in many conventions, and even traveled to 2 international exchange camps. During that time, as being a Lion, she's also eaten many pancakes in the support of Lions. She considers her club family, and they work together to strengthen their community. Recently, she became a Melvin Jones Fellow and received her master's in Lions University. She also currently sits on the Young Lions Task Force as a member of 2 focus teams, the Leo Lions and the Specialty Club Committees. Lion Krisha has spent extensive time focused on closing the gap for the Leo to Lion transition. She is here today to share that with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Krisha Stroshine. I am the current district governor here in 5SC in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm also a part of the Young Lions Task Force on the Leo Lion Committee. And what we have discovered during these last 2 years is that there seems to be some gaps or a disconnect when it comes to our Leo programs and the Leos transitioning into Lions. My goal today is to help shed some light on some of those areas our committee has found and what we can do to help close those gaps. First off, I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for attending and showing interest in the growth of our Lions and Leos in our organization. Leos are the future of our organization, and we want to set them up for success. As Leo advisors and chairpersons, you have a key role in the success of Leos in our organization. Every year, we are gaining more Leo clubs and Leo members. So in turn, we should be gaining Lions members as well. Now, Leos and Lions are united by the same things. We all join for the same reason. It should be an easy transition for Leos to move into Lions. We have strategies in place to help with the transition, but we're still missing out on many Leos. We have to figure this out, and we have to fix this gap. Why is it important to keep these Leos, you might ask? Membership is down, and in order to ensure the future of Lionism, we need to keep gaining and keeping members, as well as gaining and keeping new ideas and perspectives. If we have a Leo who's already interested in the activities and the service we're doing, we might as well keep them, because they're going to bring so much more to the table than losing them. One of the first topics I would like to discuss is reporting. Just like with any club, there seems to be a disconnect when it comes to reporting membership and service. Every year, the sponsoring Lions Club president or secretary must report a Leo Club advisor. Even if there's no change, you still need to go in and make sure we have the correct updated contact information. The Leo Club advisor can be reported on MyLCI or by using the Leo 72 reporting form. Through MyLCI, the Leo advisor can access member resources. As a Leo Club advisor, it is one of your most important roles to make sure your Leo Club officers and members are updated to ensure that everybody is getting regular communications and program updates. Now, the data provided is from MyLCI from Leo clubs that were reported in 2019 to 2020. The data collected shows that the number of Leos in Constitutional Area 1 is divided between school-based and community-based Leo clubs. There was 419 community-based clubs and 1,289 school-based clubs that were being reported at that time. Now with COVID-19, it's hard to say how many school-based clubs are actually being active right now because many schools were closed or the clubs were inactive. That's why it is important to update your information and make sure you're keeping things on the MyLCI page updated on a regular basis, so we have accurate information. This shows the breakdown through the states, but are the numbers correct? We believe that there are more Leo clubs than what's actually being reported. I know for a fact there was a Leo club in my district that was not accounted for on this report. There needs to be a connection with our Leo clubs in our districts to ensure that the reporting is accurate. Last year, California reported the highest number of Leos, followed by Texas and then Pennsylvania. But the rate of transaction was approximately less than 8% nationally for reported Leos. Now this is the distribution for that same time frame from Constitutional Area 2 broken up by districts. Now, some of the areas are a part of Constitutional Area 1, but this is just the members of Leo's clubs that are in Constitutional Area 2. They're not counting the Leos that are in districts that are part of Constitutional Area 1. So the data collected here shows that there are only 88 Leo's clubs in Constitutional Area 2. Only 88. That is why we need to get the update collection of information, not just so we can provide accurate data, but in that way we can follow up and follow through with these Leos on the transition for their Lions journeys. Service reporting is also part of the disconnect. Service reporting can be done by the Leo clubs in My Lion. Unlike My LCI, all Leos have access to My Lion. All they need to do to create an account is have their member ID. Any member can create a project for the club, and only the Leo Club advisor, president, or secretary can approve that service project reporting information. Reasons why the reporting is so important is to demonstrate the impact of your Leo Club. Also, help Lions Club International measure the global growth and impact of the Leos in the world. And also, it opens up the Leo members for their club and their individual members' service reporting awards. Nothing is better than being told thank you for the work you've done. But without reporting the service, we don't know what work has been done. So it's very important to report those service activities and awards. Now, one thing we need to do is build lasting relationships with these Leos because we want them to stay. As a Leo Club leader, you are usually the first and most prominent connection the Leo has to the bordering Lions Club family. Your role is to encourage the relationship between the Leo and their Leo's Club member, or their Lions Club members. You also need to help the Leos plan their roadmap to continuing their service journey with Lions Club International. A Leo's relationship with the club does not start when you ask them to become a Lion. It is throughout the Leo's experience. If they have a positive experience, they're going to want to stay in. If they have a negative experience, they're not going to want to continue on the Lions journey. Some pointers on helping Leos is to hold joint Leo and Lion service projects. Also, make the Leos feel welcome at Lions meetings and events while they're an active Leo. Not when they're thinking about becoming a new Lions member. Always make them feel welcome. Positive role models and experiences do matter. Feeling respected and vital to the group and their cause makes for a very positive experience. And a diminished input or feelings of failure can demotivate Leos. No one wants to be part of a no club. They want to feel that they're important and valued. Because that's what we're here for, is to help and serve. Now, as an advisor, your role is also to provide a roadmap that presents multiple options for Leos to continue their service journey in Lions. Talk to them about their future plans. Find out what they're looking for and understand the different choices and opportunities and the challenges that Leos face today compared to your own experiences. Encourage them to keep serving and to develop their leadership skills, especially when there's so many options available via online symposiums. You have the US Canada Forum, USA Canada Leos Forums. There are so many opportunities for Leos to grow and develop in their leadership skills. Offer them to develop pathways to Lions membership. Show them how Lions membership is flexible. It's easy to think Leos don't want to be Lions. They're too busy with school and they'll come back later. They might not. That's the simple truth. So here are some things to remember when you're working with your Leos. Schools around the world are filled with students who have joined service organizations or service clubs. There might be a Leo club at the school they're going to. And in fact, some schools require service to maintain good standings. Volunteer hours are now part of scholarship requirements and part of staying well-rounded and having a professional resume. Remind them that nothing looks better on a resume than saying you're part of the world's largest service organization. Now, the Young Lions Task Force Land Lion Committee has made a recommendation to introduce a survey or questionnaire to help map out the trajectory of Leos right after leaving high school. This mapping would begin at the club level. The Leo advisor is expected to identify the graduating Leos and thereafter begins the interview process. This questionnaire indicates the movement of the Leo from its school to the next destination. Based on the survey, advisors provide Leos with information and contacts for clubs in the area they're moving to. We are hoping that the advisors can also use this as a guiding tool for making recommendations for Leos based on their choices in schools, cities, and states. This is a great way to assist your Leos when moving to an unknown area by connecting them to like-minded individuals to help them with their service journey. If you would like to have this and use this in your district, you can please feel free to write to the Young Lions Task Force at yltf@gmail.com. Now, there's many different types of clubs to attract the young lion, besides just joining a Lions Club. Just like a snowflake, no two clubs are the same. We always say, your club, your way. And it's no different with the types of clubs that are available to Leos to transition into. We want to make sure we find the type of club that fits them best to ensure their success in their transition. You can find resources to these different types of clubs that might interest your younger members on the Lions Club International website. Some of these are the Leo Lions Clubs, the campus or student member options, and then of course there's branch clubs and the specialty clubs. Now I want to leave you with some following points to take with you. Leos benefit from positive relationships with lions early in their Leo journey. Again, it does not start when you ask them to become a lion that they start this lion's journey. It has already begun, and nobody wants to be a part of a no club. They want to feel valued and respected. We all join Lions for the same reason, to help people. Reporting your Leos and Lions to Lions Club International ensures communication and credit for years of service and the eligibility into other groups such as Leo Lions. Nothing says we appreciate you more than being recognized for the years of service you've done. If you've been a Leo for 9 years and then you join a Lions Club and that is your 10th year and you get your 10-year chevron and you're being recognized for all of the dedication you've done, nothing feels better than that. And also, help your Leos plan their continuing service with Lions Club International. Find a club that best fits their needs. Introduce them to clubs in the area where they're going to, so then they're not just coming back and doing service when they come home. And remember, some of those schools, that is part of what they need to do to continue and be in good standards, is to have that service organization. If they're doing the work already, might as well have it count towards Lions Club. And here's some resources that you can find if you have any questions or you need help. Of course, everything can be found on the Lions Club International webpage as well. Again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking your time towards the growth and development of our Leos. Because like I said, they are our future, and in order to continue our Lionism mission, we need to grow in membership, and Leos is the way to go. They are here, and we want to keep them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Krisha. DG Krisha. Very good presentation. Really eye-opening data that you presented and the program that you were talking about. I'm very excited about that. But we will now move on to some of the Q&A questions that we got. So the first one was, often with such a large age gap between Leos and Lions, do you have any suggestions on how to make Leos feel welcome at their meeting or line meetings and events?
it always helps just to have an open mind. So anytime you have a new suggestion, don't just shut it down. And we always hear everywhere now, it's the, we've done it that way, we don't do that anymore. And we're trying to always move away from that. Our club, we used to be a no club. When I joined, I was the youngest one by 20 years, and I was still in school, in college, just trying to work to make things work. And I was coming in, giving these ideas, and I was getting shut down constantly until finally our club switched its ways. And instead of saying no, we say, okay, how does that look? How can we make that work? And if it was something my club had done in the past, they had always said, this is how we did it. How are you thinking about doing it, or how can we spin it? So then it's not just a straight up no shutdown. It's okay, this is what's been done. What are we going to do to continue with this? Let's try it again. You always want to keep that open mind with that age gap. Also, with younger members, they're not just pack mules. They're not just there to do the heavy lifting. They want to feel involved and that they are a part of this mission as well. So when there is something that's more labor intensive, don't just throw it on the Leos, because they are worth so much more than just doing the heavy lifting. So just make sure they're included. If there is a committee for that project, make sure you have a Leo present on that project committee, so then they have input and they have say as well. That's the biggest thing, is making sure their voices are heard as well. So then when it does come time for them to transition to the next level, they are interested and they are inspired to continue in on this journey.
Definitely agree with that. I think a lot of people could relate to what you experienced as well. And so this next question kind of talks about transitioning Leos and Leos in general. So when newly transitioned Leos or members who are still Leos, I think you spoke about inviting them to the meetings, things like that. So when those Leos join the meetings generally go on as usual. How would you suggest to make those specifically more special when they join those meetings or events, or more welcoming for them?
Yes. Even though a Leo is technically part of the club, they're just in their, their Leo group and they're attending the meeting, they're still a guest. It's still a special occasion. They should still be recognized for being there. You should still have, if you have a tail twister or lion tamer who greets people at the door, they should take that member and have them introduced to every single person. It is just like having a guest at the club. They need to feel special and recognized. And of course, we always talk about, you need to have clubs be fun and more active when you're at meetings. Some meetings are not, they're strictly business, but try to incorporate that so then it is an interesting meeting and they're not just sitting there, they don't understand what's going on. If you are discussing a project, like you have coloring book sales coming up, explain to that member why the coloring book sales are a part of your club, so then they don't feel like they're just a fly against the wall, have no idea what's going on. They're engaged, they know what's going on, and they understand the history with the club when you're explaining what service project you're discussing. So just, again, making them feel welcome, that it's not, oh, you're just here for this meeting, it doesn't matter, you're not a part of this. No, make them a part of it, involve them. Like, oh, hey, we're doing the coloring book sales next Saturday. If you want to come and see what it's about and how we do the coloring books, please come along. Invite them, engage them in what you're doing.
And there's one more question here. So speaking about closing the gap, do you think that branch clubs are creating more school-based Omega Leo clubs, clubs that aren't necessarily just transitioning from Leos to Lions Club? Is that a good way to closing that gap? And if so, how should we support them?
Anybody who wants to serve should serve however they can. And if these branch clubs are making it that way, we need to continue doing this. Each one of the different youth clubs has their different perks and things that go along with them. Sometimes it has to do with dues. So if it's one of those reasons that gets that member to stay into our Lions family of whatever type of club it might be, we need to continue and support that in any way possible. Twinning, where you bring in the other group to do a project with you. Have them, if you have multiple clubs in the area, Even if my club is that sponsoring club, maybe they want to go to the downtown club and help out at their fundraiser. We're all one Lions family. It shouldn't be club versus club. We're all in here helping together. And so, any way we can keep these members to keep that positive experience to continue on their Lions journey, we need to support that in any way possible. Even if it is, like you were saying, a branch club, or if they're going to a specialty club, or we need to support them, because if we don't, they're just going to feel like they're not wanted. They're only here to do the hard lifting. And what's even the point of joining Lions later on? No, we want to keep, like I said, they're already doing the work that we're doing. They're just in a different category that is still part of this Lions family. So we need to support them in any way possible.
Thank you so much, Krisha. Really appreciate you being here. But we will now be moving on. Before we move on to our next speaker, we have a bit of a quick transition onto something I think a couple of you guys, or a couple of us, have been waiting for. So just a little introduction. So hi, my name is Tracy, and I am a Leo Lion from District 19H, British Columbia, Canada. So I've been mediating the Q&A session, but I will also be sort of your game show host for today. So now for the exciting part, we have 4 Amazon gift cards to give out today. Each one of you guys were entered into this giveaway when you registered for the event. So as a token of our appreciation, you will be for spending your Saturday with us. We'll be giving away these 4 gift cards throughout the event. And by using this nice wheel we have up, each of your names are on it. And after we spin the wheel, one of your names will pop up onto the screen and will be announced as the winner of one of the 4 Amazon gift cards. And those gift cards will be sent to you within a week from now via email. But without further ado, let's spin that wheel. And we have Bonita Felton as our first winner of the gift card giveaway. So Bonita Felton, thank you so much for joining us. You will be receiving your email and gift card within a week from now. So our next speakers will be presented by Jordan Williams.
Leo Lion Pocho from Uruguay was appointed to serve as the Leo Lion Board Liaison of Lions Clubs International from 2020 to 2021. Pocho has been an active Leo since 2007, and he transitioned to a Leo Lion in 2017. As part of the Leo program, he has held a number of offices, including club president and multiple district president. He served as the organizing committee secretary in 2018 for the ELAC Uruguay and was appointed as the registration committee chairperson for the 2018 FOLAC Forum Uruguay, and spoke as a 2019 Leo advisory panelist representing CA3 at the FOLAC Forum Rosario. As a Lion, he has served as vice president and secretary for his club and as a district cabinet secretary treasurer, as well as district GLT chairperson. In recognition of his service, Pocho has received a number of awards, including a Presidential Certificate of Appreciation for his role at the ELAC Uruguay, and a Presidential Certificate in recognition of his dedication to serving his district. We are very honored to have him with us today.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. Thank you for the presentation. And well, okay, I wanted to share with you some of my experience that you heard a little. But first of all, I wanted to say that many of the things I want to share with you all were already mentioned by Krisha. Krisha, congratulations for your presentation. You make a very important, interesting point about how we should think Lionism as a family, because this is what I think matters the most for all of us to understand when we are trying to improve Leos to becoming lions. And well, so you heard I have been a Leo for 14 years, and I am part of a Leo club sponsored by a Lions club where the relationship between Leos and Lions is very horizontal, always have been that way. And because of that, I always felt part of my Lions club. Because I always felt part of a family, even when I wasn't a Lion member, I regularly participated at my Lions Club meeting. I always do service project with them, and when I used to go to the meetings as a Leo, I never felt that they didn't treat me different. They always give me the opportunity to speak aloud, and they really integrate my opinion with their decision. And our Leo Club and our Lions Club, we always do our service project together. Maybe it was a project that came from the Leo Club and was led by them, or sometimes was a project led by our Lions Club, but the project itself was always done by Leos and Lions working together. There was never a difference between the activities and the meeting we have as a Leo or as a Lion. And that was very important because it made me feel like I was part of the family. And then one day, PDG Fabiana Foti from my Lions Club, she was running for district governor, and she invited me to join Lions Club to be part of her cabinet. Particularly, I was serving as Lion District Cabinet Treasurer, and then I had the chance to learn even more about what lions do. Then 2 years ago, I was appointed as GLT leader for my Lions district, and during trainings and institute, I had the chance to learn and exchange experience with lions from all my district. This is some of the examples I live in my path where lions try to integrate young people. And also at area level, I'm from Constitutional Area 3, Latin America. When I was appointed as Leo advisory panelist representing my constitutional area, I was invited to join the GAT area leaders during their meeting to have a voice of young people in their decision and share my thoughts during our CA forum. And that was where I had the great pleasure to first meet our vice president, Patty Hill, because I was given a speech, a seminar about how to integrate young people to your Lions Club. And then also continuing this idea of integrating Leos, our current GAT area leader, PID Jaime Garcia, he decided to create a structure for Leos at area level, not just to give them more leadership opportunities, also to give them a voice to be heard by all Lions,
Hey, do you want to come
even
up here?
Lions area leader
Huh?
as past international directors. And nowadays I was invited to and kind of pushed, but in a positive way, by my Lions Club to run for second vice district governor. So I'm a candidate, and I wasn't expected that, but it was something that came from my Lions Club that say, hey, Pollo, you have been with all this whole time. You have a lot of experience. You should think about this. And that's why I decided to do. And well, I'm just sharing this because I think I feel like I'm here at this position, at this level, having the chance to talk to the world because there have been many lions who have give young people like me opportunities. And now thinking about If you are a Leo advisor or a lion who is trying to talk to a Leo about considering becoming a Leo lion, there are some questions I wanted to share that you maybe can try with Leos. And the first one is, are you happy as a Leo? Because if you are happy as a Leo, you have the chance to continue being happy as a lion. Then you can ask, have you been able to see how much work lions do in your community? And ask also him, have you realized how much you have been benefited having the chance to be a Leo? Well, now you have the chance to do things the way lions did for you. Now you have the chance to provide other young those great opportunities you have received. And Krisha mentioned, I was talking about that as lion, we should think lions as a family. And I think for Leos, we would frame the transition as Lions reunion. When we were waiting for this seminar to start, I loved the song that was played from now on, because I think the lyrics can match the journey of a Leo to Lion. Because as a Leo, when we reach out the age to leave the program, we would be thinking, from now on, where are we going? What is the next step? But no matter how far we go, we will come back home to Lions, to the family. And we will come back home, and we will come back home, home again. Sorry for my singing, but I know I have not the best voice, but I really feel this song when I was hearing it really represents what we should and we would be thinking when we reach out our age. So everybody think about that, and please come and stay at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leo Line Board Liaison, for your amazing.
Sorry, I needed to sing.
No, I think I really love the singing as well. And I think the audience loves it as well. We do have a couple of questions before Leo Line Board Liaison Ayush goes on. But one of the questions was, what advice can you give to young lions or young Leos or lions who are serving in areas where they feel like their voices are not being heard or are being silenced? I think you're.
Oh, sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. So what advice can you give to young lions or young Leos or lions who are serving in areas where they feel like their voices are not being heard or are being silenced?
Well, the most important thing is to be empathetic in both ways, Leos and lions. So if you are a Leo and you feel that lions are not hearing you, try to understand why. Try to hardly think what is on those lions' mind and why they feel that way that they cannot hear. Because once you do that, you will probably be able to understand why is not he treating you as an equal, and maybe you can think about a way to try to communicate in a better way. But empathetic, it's the most important thing, and that's why I try to understand why, and then you understand why you can go there.
And we have another question from the chat. So what suggestions do you have to encourage advisors to participate in joint Leo club projects?
Well, you have to let them do. If it is a Leo project, let Leos do the way they want to do, and just join them. And um, also it's important not to wait till Leos are out of age to offer them to becoming lions. You should make them feel part of your family always. So when the times come, they want to do their transition because they are already feeling part of our association.
Thank you so much, Puyo. But I guess I'll pass it on to Ayush for his presentation.
Thank you so much. Can we? Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon to all of you. This is Leo Lion, Ayush Bagla, the other board liaison with Posha on the board. Today, we were asked to talk about what motivated us to become a Leo Lion and continue our journey of service as Leos. So, one of the things that did motivate, there's a lot of things, to be honest. I cannot pinpoint on one single thing. But one of the things that did motivate me was, just a little background. Both of my parents, my mom and dad, are ex-Leos, and they're both past governors now. So when my dad was becoming the DG, he told me to join a Leo club, and I had to join because that's where my pocket money came from. So, I had to join a Leo club because of that reason. And to be honest, the first couple of years that I joined, I was not that motivated to take up leadership roles or to go ahead and serve. And I never imagined I would go ahead in this organization in such a great leadership way. But one of the things that did motivate me was in the beginning, the couple of years, I was treated as a kid. I was just 14 years old. And because everyone knew my parents, I was just like the kid for everyone, right? So everybody would treat me very well. But they would guide me into things, not just guide me, they would probably excuse me, they would probably hold my hands and like take me to the place where I wanted to be. And then I think after a couple of years, I had this, everyone in my Leo club was way elder to me. I was 14 or 15. Everyone else was 25, 26. And then suddenly, I came across a group of people who did not treat me as as children, as a child. And I was more of a person in itself. And then I was given responsibilities. So I was given a small responsibility, probably to set up a table the first time. The second time, I was given the responsibility to manage the food, that everything was on time and everything was in order. The quality of the food was nice, to finalize the menu, and then so on. So, one of the things that did motivate me was responsibility. The responsibility to do small things probably in the beginning, as I said, just to manage the table, just to make sure that the name tags are right in the place. But I think that is one thing that over the years, over the last 12, 13 years that I've been a Leo, and I've given responsibility to other Leos, and they've grown with that, is that Leos love taking up responsibilities. But it has to be a responsibility where you watch them on, but not exactly hold their hand and make them do it. So it could not be the way that you want it, right? But it would be a different way that the Leo or that single individual is doing. But it's not necessary that that's the wrong way. It could be something that he or she could be thinking out of the box, or probably they do not know the ways around the protocols in your clubs. So maybe you can teach them, but a little nicely. And that's I think what motivated me, because I had this very good interaction with my Lions Club. Whenever I went wrong, they would motivate me to make mistakes and learn from them. And that's what I did, and that's the reason that I went on ahead. I started taking up responsibilities as the club president, and then the district president, and then the Leo advisory panelist. So I think one of the main things that motivated me was the fact that I was given responsibilities and I was given an area to make mistake. So it's very important that you let your Leos make mistakes. It's important because that's where they learn from. And then one of the most important things that I do realize over the years was, I did not realize it at that point of time, but today when I realize it, is that I remember when I was the Leo Club president, and my Lions Club was having its official DG visit. I was requested to come up and sit on the head dais with the Lions. I was given a small corner seat, and I was probably scared to go and sit on that head dais. But then, after that, I started realizing I want to sit on that head dais more. And that is when I realized I want to become a lion. And I converted to a lion in the year 2015, a Leo lion. And then I carried on my journey as a Leo lion. And the reason was, I was given that opportunity to taste leadership, that opportunity to learn from lions. And also, one of the most important things for, I think, as Leo advisors, I have been a Leo advisor for the last 3 years, was that to make the Leos understand that, when you become a Leo lion, it's a great transition process where you've just graduated from the Leo program in cases of CA1. But in our area, we have more Omega Leos. So it's a great way for transition for them when they're around the age of 27, where they're still Leos, and they can be a Leo lion, have a dual membership. And when they become a Leo lion, so they start their lion's journey while they're completing their Leo journey. So it kind of balances for them the recognition and the experience. Both of them come together for the Leos, and I think that's what motivated Leo lions in my areas to become to become Leo lions and to carry on that journey. I think just recently, I'll tell you very honestly, during this pandemic, when people were saying it's difficult to make new members, I approached 26 people to become Leo lions, who were part of the Leo Club program. And I can tell you with pride that in my district, all 26 of them converted to a new Leo Lions Club. They were just they're just waiting to be asked. So I think one of the things as Leo advisors that we need to do is ask them to become a Leo lion, explain to them the benefits of becoming a Leo lion, and also if they have a group, let them start their own Leo Lions Club. I mean, I think that's a good place where they would be able to grow much faster. So I think that's one of the things that we should keep in mind as Leo lions. And I'm not gonna make it long. I think with this, I would probably want to end. But one thing that I would like to share with all of you is, again, that what we've been hearing from DG Krisha, from Posho, that we are one family, and it's important that we treat each other as families, and that goes for the Leos too. If any of the Leos are here, I keep telling this in my area, is that when the Leos come and tell me that lions are not listening to us always, they're not giving us those opportunities, there's some miscommunication with the lions, and what I keep telling them is that every time that you go to your dad or mom and ask them for pocket money, do you really get it every time? And do you get the exact figure that you've asked for every time? If not, then what do you do? How do you go about it? You don't just walk away from your house and say, I'm not going to come back here again, right? So that's not the way that you do in the Leo Club program. That if you have a misunderstanding or a miscommunication with your lions, you don't just walk away from the Leo Club saying that the lions don't listen to me. You got to convince them. They're gonna come halfway. That is why we say that the Lions Club is the parent club of the Leo clubs, because it's like a familial relationship. The lions are like parents, are like guides to the Leos, and that's how I think everything should be coordinated between the lions and Leos. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Leo Lion Board Liaison Yush. Thank you so much for coming here, even for being indisposed a bit, and thank you so much for your dedication to this organization. We do have a question to you from the chat. So what is your hardest challenge you faced as a Leo advisor, and how did you overcome it?
I think, thank you, Daniel, for that question. I think one of the main problems I had as a Leo advisor was because I was a transitioning Leo lion. The Leos started thinking of me as lions, and the lions kept thinking of me as Leos. So I think the biggest problem over there was both the groups stopped taking me seriously, and but I think one of the best things was, I think, communication is the way of solving everything. And whenever there was a problem between the lions and the Leos always thought I'm taking the side of the lions thought I'm taking probably the side of the Leos. So I think one of the best things that I did was probably to solve that, was to get all of them at the same table instead of me. Usually it said the Leo advisor liaisons. So instead of me carrying the message from each group, I brought both the groups together on the table. And I think that worked out every time with each and every club that I've been able to mentor or work with, even at the district levels with Leos and Lions. Whenever we've gotten the both Lions and Leos, the main group on the same table in the same room, all miscommunications and all problems have always been sorted out by that way.
I definitely agree with that as well. And this next question has to do with some dues. So do you think the dues are restricting transitions from Leo to Lions, since some clubs vary in dues, the cost of the dues, it varies from club to club. So what advice would you give? Do you have any advice for the clubs or Leos?
Yeah, so one of the things that I even the LCI, when you talk about it, if you see the dues for Leo Lions is half of what it is for normal Lion members. So, but then again, we understand there's a lot of costs involved with meetings and events, and I don't think there's a one size that fits all work that can that can work with all the clubs around the world. I mean, in our area, we have Leo Lions clubs specifically for the fact that the dues are less. They keep the dues according to because the Leo Lions are usually people who've just started college or are really young professionals who've just started work, and they cannot really afford a lot of money as membership dues. So the membership dues is really low over here for Leo Lions Club. But then we have a contemporary Lions Club which have high dues. So usually, we have a few Lions clubs in which the Leo advisor or we attach mentors or guides to the Leo Lions who convert. So the first year there's a way where they sponsor the Leo Lion member, but then the next year onward they start paying on their own if they think it's valuable. So you see, there's a lot of ways that in which we can work on it. So it cannot just be that we cannot just ask Lions clubs to remove the dues completely.
Thank you so much, Ayush and Polio. Thank you both for being here. I know you both are a huge inspiration to many, both Leos and Lions all around the world. So thank you so much. But for our next speaker, Lion Jordan Williams will be introducing them.
Leo Lions, Joanne and Kyle will be sharing with us today how to engage young lions in service. Leo Lion Joanne is a member of the Leo Advisory Panel as a CA2 Lion representative and a member of the Young Lions Task Force. She credits her time as a Leo Club president in helping her become a better Leo and making a real impact in her community. She is bringing all her experience together to be instrumental in improving the membership experience for Leos and Young Lions. Leo Lion Kyle was a member of his high school Leo Club and played an active role in the local community. He also served on the Leo Advisory Panel representing Canada and the Youth Ad Hoc Committee. He also served as the Leo Lion Board Liaison, which was a newly created position in his year to represent Leos and Young Lions on the International Board of Directors. Kyle also co-founded the Young Lions Canadian Retreat and is an active member of the West London Lions Club. In 2019, Kyle became a member of the Young Lions Task Force and joined the executive team. He is very passionate about serving his local community and giving back where he can.
Okay, hopefully you can see that screen. Welcome to our presentation on engaging young lions in service. My name is Kyle. I'm a Leo Lion with the West London Lions Club, as you just learned. I'm in District A1 in Ontario, Canada. My favorite sport is baseball. I'm a big fan of the Toronto Blue Jays. And as you can see on the screen, I'm a big dog lover. That's my dog, Chase. We were together at Christmas 2 years ago.
Hi, my name is Joanne. I'm also a Leo Lion from the Surrey Central Lions Club in Surrey, BC, Canada. I have 3 sisters, one of which is Tracy Ngo on this call right now, the moderator, and my favorite sport is volleyball.
So yeah, when we were brainstorming this topic about engaging young lions in service, we, wrote down some points, Joanne and I, but then we thought, instead of just telling you, how to engage young lions in service, why don't we show you through several initiatives? So today in our presentation, we'll be talking about the Canadian Young Lions Retreat, West London Lions Club. Joanne will talk a bit about her experiences as a Leo, and then we'll wrap it up with how to be a good Leo advisor, because the Leo advisor is a very important role in engaging young lions in service. So let's begin with the Canadian Young Lions Retreat. So this was founded in 2018, and we held our first event in March of 2019. And I think it's an excellent example of engaging youth through service, but also through other ways. So I first want to kind of bring you back a bit to kind of understand the underlying motivation behind hosting this event. So according to the CIA, the median age in the US is 38.8 and 42.2 in Canada. So what does this mean? Well, it means roughly half of the population in Canada and the US are under the age of 40. However, the median age of a lion in North America is much larger. I believe in Canada, it's around 65. And this means that we have a huge potential to expand membership by targeting young people in North America and also globally for other people that are attending this call. And in a survey among Leos, 71% state that they would like to become lions one day. So we have half the population under 40 and lots of Leos wanting to become lions. So where's the disconnect? And so I began asking myself a few years ago, why are we failing to attract young people? And then it dawned upon me after a bit of reflection, this is kind of the wrong way to ask this question. Instead, we should be asking ourselves, what kind of opportunities can we offer to make lions attractive to young people? And so I thought, how do we show young lions that young people that there are other young lions and also the Leos? And I thought, why not bring them together for kind of a weekend of service and fellowship? And so I believe that a big reason that Leos often do not want to join the Lions is that they don't see themselves in it. When they're sponsoring clubs, youngest member is in their early 70s. The generational gap makes it difficult for the Leos to imagine themselves as lions. And I'm not saying this negatively. It's fine to have clubs with these sort of demographics. I'm just saying this so you can help understand maybe why the Leos may not see themselves in the Lions and may not necessarily want to join your Lions Club. It's not that they don't like lions, it's just they might not see themselves in it. And so again, I thought, why not bring the Leos together with the young lions to show them that they're only lions a few years older than themselves who are serving and making an impact on an organization. So that's kind of how the Canadian Young Lions Retreat came about. Our goal was to encourage more Leos to join our association and encourage newer young lions to stay with us, because we know that there's a huge drop-off within the first few years of joining the Lions. We also had secondary goals of empowering young lions and Leos to go back to their communities to start their own initiatives. That could be a branch club, their own Young Lions Club, a Leo Lion Club, as the previous speakers talked about. A final secondary goal of the retreat was to develop the leadership skills of the participants to help them in Lions, but also other facets of life. So, we talked a bit about the Leos and Young Lions want to learn about want to develop their leadership skills for their career and for other sort of things that they're involved with. And so I spoke to Lion Nikhil Patel, and we decided to co-found this event. We were actually roommates at the time, so it made meetings super easy. Just had to knock at the door right next door, and we're able to have a meeting. He served as a chair, and I was one of the advisors. We formed a Young Lion and Leo Advisory Committee. We also recruited some Lion organizers, Lion George Corin, Lion Barb Corin, and Lion Jim Karen from District A15 in Ontario, Canada. We held their first retreat. I know some of you on the call today might have attended the retreat, including Joanne. It was March 22nd to 24th, 2019 in Woodstock, Ontario. And it was $125 per participant, thanks to the generous support of Lions clubs from across Canada. And now I'm just going to go in through a brief overview of the event. So starting off Friday evening, we had an opening ceremony and we read a greeting letter from international director at the time, Dr. Patty Hill, who of course now is our third international vice president. Will be speaking a bit later. We introduced some of our special guests. We had dinner and we had a social with karaoke and games, as you can see up on your screen. Moving on to Saturday morning, we began off the morning with Steve Lee, who gave a presentation on youth advocacy. So how young people can affect positive change by, for example, writing to local government representatives, how to advocate in the workplace and or at school and university. As you'll notice on your screen, he actually was not at the event in person. He was presenting virtually. So we were a bit ahead of the curve, and we were already using virtual options for some of our conventions and meeting even back in 2018, 2019. After his presentation, Kerry Green, who is a former Leo advisory panelist from Indiana, he gave a presentation on leadership. And so it was really a great way kind of for each participant to kind of construct their own personal definition of leadership and learn more about, the importance of leadership. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, this is probably my favorite part of the weekend. And we were fortunate to have Roxanne Steck from the Leo Club department at LCI help us throughout the weekend as well as before the event. And so one of the things she helped us with is she provided a tutorial on blanket making, which was our service project for the Saturday afternoon. So we made blankets for the Ronald McDonald House, made I think about 30 of them. And we were able to do that at the Ingersoll Lions Club den. So thanks to them for letting us use their den, and they also served us lunch. After the participants were done making the blankets, we invited a representative from the Ronald McDonald House to share the services they provide and some of the stories and kind of the role they play in our community. So this really helped the participants educate them, expose them to a new potential service project, and also to see kind of a bit what community service looks like. After we were done with our service project, we went back to the hotel, and Roxanne Steck gave a presentation in a focus group. So she took some of the members' opinions about the Lions and took them back to the Lions Club's international headquarters. So I recommend this for anyone listening on the call who's planning a district or multiple district convention in the future. Have focus groups, not just for young people, but for all your members. It's super important to get feedback. Of course, we have our strengths, but there's always ways that we can improve. So it's super important that you do lots and lots of focus groups and give the opportunity for everyone to give feedback. So moving on to Saturday evening, this was probably the most popular event for the participants themselves. And honestly, when Nikhil and I were planning the schedule, we didn't think this would be that popular. We thought it was more of a filler part of the schedule, but it ended up being the most popular event of the weekend. So we had an evening networking session with Lions leaders. It was kind of a career panel. So we had Lions from different careers. We had business, infectious disease, healthcare workers, teachers, and experienced Lions. We also had Lions from different leadership backgrounds because we knew we had some young professionals at a retreat and they might have already decided what their career is in the future. So we wanted to offer an opportunity to them to talk about some of the Lions leadership opportunities. So we rotated members around every 5 minutes, or well, we were supposed to rotate them around every 5 minutes, but as Joanne can attest, it went way over schedule. They kept asking, including Joanne herself, can I have a few more minutes to talk to this Lion? So we ended up talking for a really, really long time. The participants learned about all the potential career options and leadership positions with the Lions. They didn't want to move tables. And I think eventually the band started playing and it was really loud in the room. I think the hotel people came and like, oh, you have to leave the room. You're like an hour and a half, 2 hours over your booking. And we didn't even finish going through the full rotation. That's just how much the participants enjoyed talking to the Lions. So this is maybe a great idea for you to consider hosting at a district or multiple district or any sort of a Leo event, even within your clubs might be a great idea. After that, after we got kicked out of the room, we went back and we had a social with more games and karaoke. And moving on to Sunday morning, we got up, I gave a presentation on the different types of clubs and opportunities available within the Lions to young people. And we find that many Leos and young Lions don't fully know about all of the opportunities in Lions, such as learning opportunities. We talked to, I think maybe Krisha mentioned Lions University earlier, the different events that are available, USA Canada Lions Forum, which of course Wendy is chairing this year, the International Convention coming up. So we really want to lay out the opportunities available to young people because, Lions can be quite overwhelming at first when you maybe even once you're joined after a few years, and can be quite overwhelming by the sheer number of opportunities available. And you might not, and because there's so many opportunities, you might not even know about any of them because it's just kind of overwhelming. So it's really important if you're in a Lions Club to just really lay out those opportunities and say, these are the really cool things you can do. I know there's these other things, but this is what I think is cool. Just really show them what are the opportunities. So after we had that presentation, we had a closing ceremony with International Director at the time, Tom Gordon. Overall, the weekend, we had 33 participants from across Canada. We had participants from Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta. So we had a few provinces, didn't have all of the provinces. So hopefully in the future, when it's organized at some point, it'll be more representative of all of Canada. We had 3 workshops, as we mentioned, a service project for the Ronald McDonald House, making 30 blankets, and we had a networking session with Lions leaders. The 2020 retreat was planned, I think, for around March 20th, around the same date, 2020. But as many of you know, that was kind of about a week before that was when it was quite crazy. So unfortunately, we had to cancel it a week before, and hopefully at some point in the future, it'll be hosted again. So just want to say thank you to our amazing sponsors. If you notice at the beginning of this presentation, I said it was only $125 for participants. So that is thanks to the amazing sponsors we had. They were able to lower the cost as much as possible. We also had several Lions clubs and Lions donors, individual donors, directly sponsor some of the attendees. So I think this illustrates that it's important if you're hosting an event for youth to consider covering a partial amount or the full amount of their cost. And overall, the Canadian Young Lions Retreat highlights several ways to engage youth. We first of all have them lead the project. So myself and Nikhil, who are both Young Lions, as well as a Young Lions and Leo committee, we're the ones who are really planning the event. So it's very important that you give Young Lions and Leos the opportunity to plan and lead their own initiatives. Also, when you are planning like something like a convention or whatnot, allow for non-Lions parts of the program. I think probably 80 to 90% of the retreat was all focused on the Lions and service. We had that 10%, which was the career networking part, which, you know, part of it was for the Lions, but another part of it was just for the help the participants kind of find out what they'd like to do in their career. I think it's important to kind of do events like that as well, like highlight some of the non-Lions parts and the ways that they can really leverage the Lions organization for other parts of their life. So that's the Canadian Young Lions Retreat. I'm going to talk now briefly about the West London Lions Club, which is the club I'm involved with. It is a club for students and young professionals in the London, Ontario area. And so why start the West London Lions Club? So it was started, I think, in 2018. And at the time, I was recently appointed to serve as a Leo Lion board liaison. And one of the reasons for creating this position was to try and get more young Lions to join, more young Lions and Leos to join or stay a part of or join the Lions. And so I thought, you know, how am I going to do this? And I thought, well, you know, first place to start is with my friends, because if I can't convince my friends, I'm not going to be very effective at my position. So I talked to my friends, people that were on my floor in the first year of university. And thankfully, we ended up having 24 members that were interested in forming a club. So I kind of validated myself a bit so I could go out and recruit some of the other young Lions. We officially chartered in the fall of 2018, and we hosted our charter night in March 2019 with International President Gudrun. So I know that some of you maybe on this call made the journey to London to attend. So thank you very much for those that attended. So what do we do as a Young Lions Club? Well, we meet on a monthly basis and we try to host 1 to 2 service projects per month. We line up our service projects with our meetings because we know our members are very busy, either with professional or educational commitments. So it is very important when you are starting an initiative for young people to kind of, you know, consider combining things. Like there's no reason that we can't do a meeting and then serve right after a meeting. I think also that's probably the time when most members are most fired up as well. So might have a great, might be a great way to kind of motivate your members to serve. Some of our past service projects is baking at the Ronald McDonald House. As you'll see on your screen, I should say, rest assured, this was in 2018 before COVID-19. We also have hosted multiple environmental cleanups. We've written letters for long-term care facilities, among other service projects. So again, this initiative, similar to the Canadian Young Lions Retreat, highlights that you should give young people the chance to plan their own projects, which is why that we created a Young Lions Club. So the Young Lions are leading the club. We also have club members within that are Young Lions that are leading and planning the service projects. So do consider creating some sort of branch Young Lions Club or neighboring Young Lions Club. If you have lots of Young Lions within your club, you know, consider asking them to start their own branch or start their own club. And, you know, sometimes clubs, you know, they really want to hold on to their members, but I don't think it's a bad thing to let the Young Lions go off and do their own thing. There's no rule in the Lions Club's international constitution that says clubs cannot collaborate within each other. And I know that, you know, we Lions sometimes are a bit territorial, but there's nothing wrong with saying, go start your own initiative. We can always collaborate on service projects. There's no rule against that. I'm now going to pass it off to Joanne, who's going to get a bit into some of the other parts of our presentation, including her experiences as a Leo.
Yeah, so Kyle brought up a great way to keep our youth engaged, but not everyone can attend these events. They are also pretty far and few between. So things like creating clubs specifically for young lions, as Kyle has done, is a great alternative. But one thing that we tend to forget is that bonding through service is one of the most important things that will dictate the membership experience. When a service project is held, this is where the members are also able to bond, and the most. It's not only talking about during the event, but also the preparations before it as well. So when everyone is working hard at the same task towards a common goal, there is naturally a sense of camaraderie and teamwork. When this then opens up an environment to communicate and get to know each other, which will make people enjoy what they're doing and have fun. There's also a feeling of belonging when preparing and hosting an event. We don't want to make it a chore for our members to help out. Maybe have some snacks there for everyone, have some music on, laugh, and if you're a member, try to start conversations with others. If you notice someone seems like they aren't really talking or keeping to themselves, try reaching out to them so they actually feel like they belong as well. We want to create a welcome space for all those working together so that people will enjoy and feel comfortable enough to bond with each other through service. Next slide. So take the Cortland Park Leos as an example. This is a club that's very near and dear to my heart, as well as Kyle. We both served as presidents of this club as well. The club was in a rough shape before Kyle actually reached out to my sister and I after it was in danger of being dropped. So now the club is doing great, mainly because the members actually enjoy working together and spending time with each other. So what we have to do is build here a comfortable and fun environment for our members so that they feel a sense of belonging and will want to keep coming back. This will also naturally have them bring in their friends as well if they truly enjoy their time. They will want to share that experience with others as well so that their experience can also increase our membership as well. Next slide. So what else can we do? I know a lot of us are having trouble engaging the youth. Let's say you already have tried everything that we mentioned already and it's not really working out. So now we want to try a new approach, but we have to go back to the basics. I'm talking about specifically relearning our ABCs. Now you may be thinking, wow, that's kind of weird since we already clearly know what our ABCs are, right? Learned it as a child. So to clarify on what I mean, I'm introducing to you all, if you have not already heard of it, the idea of asset-based community development, your ABCD. So here are our basics. With this method, we start new with a bottom-up approach. We start with knowing that everyone has gifts, that everyone has something to contribute, and that everyone cares about something. And that something is their motivation to act. So we want to build off of that something. But to put our ABCD in motion, we have to get to know our club members and talk to them. Let's say we find out someone loves and is amazing at art. We take those skills and put them to good use. If we already know that everyone is interested in or what their skill set is, we can plan accordingly and host an amazing service project where everyone contributes in their own way. This will assure that everyone will enjoy what they're doing since it's what they are passionate about. So just to recap, the asset-based community development is that we find what the members are passionate about and make a service project based on that. Next slide, please. So how to be a good advisor. Next slide. As a Leo advisor myself, I tend to see that the advisors can be a little overbearing with their approach. But what we do have to remember is that you're an advisor. You're there as a supporting role to guide them and not be a leader. To do so, you'll be there to provide advice and input only when necessary and when asked. You must let the youth take the initiative and lead in planning and organizing these service projects. If there's too much control over their plans and they're coddled too much, it doesn't really teach them much, does it? If everyone's already set and for them, and when they will never really learn. Although they are young, they're much more capable than you think, so give them the autonomy and freedom. This allows for a lot of learning opportunity as well. Our common goal is to have this younger generation become leaders and grow to become them as well in the organization. So planning and executing a service project is the perfect way to teach these things like leadership and teamwork. This also allows for more creative and diverse ideas as well, one that we may have never thought of without giving the opportunity to speak. If you are a club member, you should also let your advisor know that you would like to try this and actually explain it to them, the reason why.
Now we're going to
Another
conclude.
point. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's Kyle's turn.
Sorry about that. Yes. So to conclude our presentation, we want to kind of talk briefly about kind of a final point about how to be a good Leo advisor, which is rotating your Leo advisors at least every 5 years, if not a bit earlier. Something I've observed, serving as a Leo line board liaison and other leadership capacities is that, often the Leo advisor will stay in the same position for 20 or 30 years at the particular school. In some cases that works, and the Leos absolutely love this particular advisor, and that's fine, don't change that. But in a lot of cases, and I think in the majority of the cases, a lot of Leos, say, oh, we've had the same advisor for a really long time. They're always saying, oh, well, we used to do it this way, or, the cohort of Leos 30 years ago used to do it this way. Why don't you guys do it, like that? So I think it's very important that you rotate your Leo advisor either out of the position and back into the club into another position, or if your club has multiple Leo clubs, rotate them through the different Leo clubs, right? So they can get a bit of a different perspective, because every Leo club is unique in their own way. This allows, as you see on your screen, for more ideas to circulate and provides kind of a new experience for each of the Leo advisors. The other thing we want to emphasize is that it's okay to have more than one advisor. I think there's sometimes like this unofficial rule that a lot of lines think that you can only have one Leo advisor. I think in many cases it's better to have multiple Leo advisors. It lightens the load for everyone. And it also allows kind of maybe each Leo advisor to specialize in one particular area of the club, because it is a lot of work serving as a Leo advisor. Whoever you do choose to be a Leo advisor, it's important that they're organized and reliable. Another suggestion is try to have a graduating Leo or a recent new lion to co-serve as the Leo advisor, just like Joanne is doing. Especially if they're a recent Leo, they have a connection to the club, they know the club members, and they're a bit more approachable to the youth. So these are our recommendations on how to be a good Leo advisor. And this kind of concludes our presentation. So we hope you were able to take something away from our presentation today. We're happy to take your questions now. And if you don't think of a question right now, please reach out anytime. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation.
Thank you both, Kyle and Joanne. Great presentations. Thank you for sharing your experience with how to engage both Leos and young lions in service. We have here a question from the chat. So school-based Leo clubs meet during the day. It's often a difficult time for Leo advisors who have jobs who are employed. So that's why many Leo advisors are older retired lions. What ideas do you have to attract younger Leo advisors?
I personally think just reaching out to them specifically and asking, oh, would you be willing to even attend a few meetings, maybe once a month? Just knowing the Leos, just knowing that they have that one lion, the young lion there, as serving as an advisor, just having them there and knowing that they can go and communicate to them whenever they want is so much better than just having the one Leo. So again, what Kyle said, having more than one Leo advisor is totally acceptable and will actually help.
And I'll just add in, we've seen now in the past year, a lot of clubs and a lot of lions have become super comfortable with Zoom. This is something that doesn't have to stop in the next year or two, when hopefully the pandemic, when we hopefully go back to normal. And so yeah, like why don't we continue having the Zoom options and allow the young Leo advisors to call in, because they do have lunch breaks when they're at work, and so they can call in for half an hour or something, possibly from time to time, just to stay updated with the club. So do consider extending the Zoom option and keeping it in the future. Like Joanne said, it's good to have multiple Leo advisors, so you can maybe have one that attends the meetings and gathers the information. Maybe you have the young person serve more as like the mentor, or kind of gives feedback or comes to some of the service projects. Each club can kind of decide for themselves. The other idea is maybe to consider having the occasional weekend meeting, especially with Zoom now. You can kind of call on the weekends or other times you don't necessarily have to meet at the school if it's a school-based club. And also, like, if you do have a recent new young lion, maybe that new lion is in school right now, and so they kind of have a bit of a different schedule, so they might be able to attend the meeting. So do kind of be flexible and consider different options to allow the younger Leo advisors to serve.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that the younger Leos will feel more comfortable approaching their younger lion as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. This next question is regarding the bottom-up approach. So how can an advisor or leader identify a Leo's gift, to use that gift, and or even help the Leo identify their own gift if they haven't already?
Yeah, so I think the key is to communicate with them and actually sit down, talk with them, get to know them, and naturally things will just start coming up in conversation. Like, oh, do you like art? Maybe like, oh, do you play sports? Just naturally will come up in conversation.
Yeah, and we have one last question regarding recruitment and kind of how to retain them after transitioning. So do you have any tips on how to recruit Leos and more importantly, how to retain them after they actually transitioned into Lions?
Yeah, so I think that's where specifically what I spoke about, the experience is so important and so crucial because naturally, if the experience is good, they'll want to bring in their friends as well. Because if they're having so much fun in the club, they also want to share that with others as well.
Just to add in, like, I think you really have to lay out the opportunities. And so, you know, from my observation, a lot of Leo clubs and they'll just say at the end of the year to the graduating Leos, oh, there's an application on the table for the Lions. You know, ask yourselves, have you ever actually done that? Most people don't even take coupons when they go to the grocery store. Like, why are they going to take an application for a Lions club, right? So I think the most important thing is really to sit down with your graduating Leos and ask, where are you going next year? Okay, you're going to this university or you're going to this particular job. Oh, there's a Lions club nearby. Why don't you consider reaching out to that Lions club? Or, hey, you can stay involved with our Lions club. So when you come back in the summer, you can volunteer with us. And the other point I really hope everyone kind of takes home today from not just from our presentation, but from all the presentations is really get to know your members. That could be your Lions members or your Leo members. Get to know what they're interested in and plan your service projects and plan your club accordingly.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we just have one last question. So if there's a conflict between an advisor and a Leo, but maybe the Leo is too afraid to confront them, how do you suggest going about it?
I think this is really where the kind of the younger advisor that we had talked about really comes in because, well, it depends, I guess, if the conflict's between the more senior advisor and the Leo, then yeah, maybe this is where the young person kind of comes in to mediate a bit. I think that's kind of one of the advantages. But, you know, say it is a conflict between the younger Leo advisor and the Leo, then, you know, just like typical kind of conflict management, maybe even the senior Leo advisor can step in and try and mediate the conflict. I think it's just important for everyone to understand each other. And if you're a Leo advisor, you kind of have to have a lot of patience and be willing and open to kind of suggestions, or at least be willing to hear the other person's kind of point of view. So it's very important that you have very empathetic Leo advisors.
Yeah, or even if you're comfortable, that one lion or the one Leo is comfortable talking to at least one of the lions in the club, I'm sure they're willing to also provide input and advice to that other Leo advisor as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Thank you both so much for giving your suggestions and ideas, especially for Leo advisor. I think they're very, very helpful. Thank you so much. Now we will be moving on to our next giveaway spin. So we'll be doing one more here and then 2 more spins at the end of the event. So now let's please spin that wheel. For registering for our conclave, you will be receiving an email within the next week, receiving your gift card. And our next presenter will be also introduced by Jordan Williams.
Past International Director Jenny Ware is from Rapids River, Michigan. She has held many offices within the association at the club, district, and multiple district level. She is currently serving as the Campaign 100 Vice Chairperson. In recognition of her service to the association, she has received numerous awards, including the Membership Key Award, the International Leadership Award, many times, and the International President's Award. She is also a Melvin Jones Fellow. PID Jenny is extremely passionate about involving young lions and Leos throughout our organization. She is incredibly uplifting to all that she comes into contact with and serves as a mentor to many. We are very happy to have her here with us today to deliver this great message.
Hi, thank you, Lion Subarna and the Young Lions Task Force for inviting me to the Leo Advisor Conclave today. My name is Past International Director Jenny Ware, and I'm from the great state of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, actually. And I'm here to meet with and talk with you, Leo advisors, regarding your roles with the Leos. As you hear a lot of people say the Leos are our future, and then you'll hear a lot of Lions say the Leos are our now and our future. So I'd first like to thank all of you for stepping forward to be a Leo advisor. I know it takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of things behind the scene that most of us don't know about or don't realize. What I'm not sure if you realize or not, but you as the Leo advisors are our link between the Leos and their clubs and the district. One thing that I've noticed a lot through the years is the Lions really want the Leos to be involved. How do we get younger members? But then we bring in Leos or we bring in younger members, and then we tell them what we think they should do or what we want them to do. And I think we as Lions forget that when I joined Lionism 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, that when I was invited in, I was asked what I thought. I was asked what I wanted to do. I was encouraged to be on a committee, even when I didn't want to be sometimes. So as the Leo advisors, I'd really like you to look at yourself and determine if you're the type of Leo advisor that tells the Leos what they need to do, or are you the advisor that encourages and helps them to find out what they want to do. Now, I'm not saying you can't give them ideas and make suggestions and help keep them on track if you see them going off track. But I think the vast majority of our Leo advisors are very energetic, obviously love youth, but don't always help them with their autonomy, help them to be the leader, help them to be the mentor for the rest of the Leo clubs. So working with them on the service projects that they're going to do, and maybe asking the Leos, hey, how would you like to invite the Lions to help you? And then they can come to the service project of the Leos and see how the Leos work, versus maybe the Lions asking the Leos, because then the Leos are the guest and maybe not feeling like they can open up, make suggestions. One of the great change stories I like to share is that we have a fish fry in my Lions Club, and one of the youngest members, 21, 22, I asked her if she would please take care of moving the glasses for the bar that were sitting on the freezer that held everything for the dinner. And she really only kind of rearranged it, and I didn't know how to politely ask her, well, then how am I going to get in the freezer to get the French fries? And I said, wow, I said, that looks really nice, but I do have a concern. And she goes, oh, the French fries. And she reached over to the refrigerator freezer next to the flat freezer and opened up the freezer door and said, and I put everything over here. So don't be afraid to make the ask. Don't be afraid to make the change. Remember that we were all their age at one time, and that we remember looking at our mentors, the teachers, our parents, and maybe even being that little bit afraid sometimes to make suggestions, because especially if we got shut down that once or twice, we're not always willing to make the suggestions again. So I really look forward to you Leo advisors as being our gap between the Leos and the Lions clubs. Now, I know some advisors are great at it, and I'm not a Leo advisor, so I don't understand 100%. And I think all of you attending today are going to be a great resource for each other to help share those ideas. What did you do? What did you try? What worked? What didn't work? So that is an excellent, excellent resource that you're going to have at the end of today, is everyone attending and everyone watching this conclave in times to come, because they're going to know other Leo advisors that are there and hopefully will be able to reach out to one another. Now, one thing that gets mentioned a lot too is district Leo chair people and multiple district Leo chairpersons. Not every district or multiple district has a Leo chair. And I think that you district Leo chair people and multiple district Leo chair people are very important and not always acknowledged at the table when you're in your prospective district and possible multiple district. And I think that you help keep the pulse on what's going on in your multiple and your district. So please continue to reach out, be in constant contact with the other Leo advisors. Don't be afraid to call the district governor or the multiple district governor council chairperson and just take a few minutes of their time, even if it's to just get to know them. And then as you slowly get to know them, and you can give them more ideas about the Leos and what's going on. And they may have questions that you never even thought of. So thank you again, Leo advisors, for keeping our Leos going, keeping them strong, helping be that gap between the Lions Club and also between the district and the multiple district. If there's ever anything that I can do to help you, I'd be more than happy to. Don't be afraid to reach out to the Young Lions Task Force that is putting on this conclave today, as they do have all of my information, and I would be happy to help you. So thank you, Leo advisors. Keep up the great work and continue to serve with kindness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PID Jenny. What she said about the sharing ideas between Leo advisors is a great tip and would help a lot. And our next speaker will be introduced by Subarna.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm Lion Subarna Sahni. I serve on the Young Lions Task Force as the Leo Lion Committee Chair. It is my honor this afternoon to introduce our third International Vice President, Dr. Patty Hill. As we all know, Vice President Patty is a member of Edmonton Host Lions Club since 1990. She has held numerous positions in the association, and in recognition of her service to the association, VP Patty has received numerous awards, including several International President's Awards. She has been honored with the Ambassador of Goodwill Award, the highest honor of the association bestows upon its members. She is also a Progressive Melvin Jones Fellow and recipient of numerous other fellowships. Besides her Lions work, VP Patty is the president of a consulting firm with 30 years of experience behind her as a psychologist. She has mentored many graduate students and psychologists in training. And as we all know, she's a champion for the rights of children and our youth and our Leos. Without further ado, I present to you VP Patty Hill.
Thank you so very much for that introduction. I'm just going to take a moment to make sure that my presentation will start appropriately. If you bear with me, I need to make sure that we have sound attached. All right. Does that look fine to you, Subarna?
Yes, it does, VP Patty. Thank you.
Thank you. It really is a pleasure for me to be able to join with you today. And this is a great opportunity for us to really focus on the importance of our Leos, our Leo Lions, and our Leo advisors. And also, I'm going to take just a moment to wish an early Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are mothers and to all of you who will be celebrating mothers. But thank you for taking time today on a Saturday to learn more about this really critical role of Leo advisor. You have already seen so much great information, great advice from experts who are Leos, who are Leo lions, who have been Leo advisors already today. So my question for you today is this: do you believe in investing in our young people? And if you do, why? I know that Lions invest in young people all the time. I read the service reports, and I know that you do vision screening for young people. We do hearing service for young people, bursaries and scholarships for young people. We make sure that there's food on the table for families that need it for their young people, and we sponsor sports teams and other activities. And if we do all this, there must be a lot of us who believe that investing in our young people pays great dividends. So when we invest in young people, what is our goal? And I encourage you to use the chat box, to type in what some of your goals might be. Why are you investing in young people? I thought about this and I thought, well, some of us do it because we really want Leos and Leo lions to be comfortable within our family. And yes, you've heard it today, lions and Leos, we are a family. Some of it, you invest in our young people because you want them to have leadership opportunities and development and training. And other times it's because we really want them to have experiences they don't get anywhere else. And of course, sometimes it's because there's opportunities for them as young people coming together to do things they can't do on their own. Maybe we want them educated, those bursaries and scholarships I mentioned. Maybe we do it because we're trying to raise up another generation and another generation of truly responsible citizens. Maybe we want to give young people a purpose, something that keeps them from drifting into unhealthy lifestyles. Maybe it's because we want to ensure that they have resiliency, that they have mental wellness. Now, during the pandemic, but always, we need to show them that they can make a difference. We need to let them prove to themselves that they can make a difference. This is the antidote to hopelessness. And we have to be concerned about hopelessness because a life without a purpose is a life without purpose. We have purpose. Most of us have more than one. But today, we're in our Leo or our Leo lion or our advisor role, and we have a purpose. So as Leos and as lions, what is our purpose? And how will we achieve the goals that we associate with our purpose? How are you and I, yes, you and I, going to foster these healthy, educated, engaged, responsible, purposeful, contributing young Leos and young Leo lions? Really, how do we achieve anything, anything in our lives? We focus on the steps that we need to take to get to our goals. We've already stated our goals. We know maybe our goal this year has been to recruit more Leos, to transition more Leo lions. Whatever our goal is in our role, you and I having our own roles, how will we achieve the goal? Now, I can see in the chat box you've got goals, but the goal is set. The goal is clear. State your goal out loud, write it down, share it with someone else. But that goal is set. The point is now to move forward. So how do we move forward? How do we get going? How do we get focused? How do we form that new Leo club? Or how do we transition at least 50%, 70%, 80% of our Leos to be Leo Lions? Or how do I become a Leo advisor for my club or my district? Number one, do not let distractions get in your way. And there are all kinds of distractions in today's world. I don't want to hear you saying, well, I meant to. No. I don't want to hear any of us saying, something else came up. No, let's not be distracted from our goals. Have you heard this? Well, I forgot. We won't be hearing that from this motivated group. I'll start next week. No, that's not an acceptable response, is it? We need to focus. Lion Wendy reminded us at the beginning of this session that dreams and goals help us focus. But we've got the dreams, we've got the goals, so let's get doing it now, every day. Every day is a gift. We get to unwrap it and make the most of it, or we can set it aside and lose it forever because we never get another day back. So we need to get started today, and we need to restart every day because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with just a single step. So now I'm speaking to some of you as Leo advisors and some of you as wannabe Leo advisors or intending to be Leo advisors. But I'm also speaking to Leos and Lions and friends of Leos and Lions who have joined us today. How does a person achieve any goal in life? Number one, be clear about your goal. Number two, state that goal so others can understand it and get on board if they're on the same path with you. And number three, set the goal aside and get moving. Do not, at this point, forget your goal, but do get moving. And to do that, take control of your environment. Your environment has to be clear. It can't be out of focus like this. So control your environment so that it helps you focus, not distract you. And I want to teach you a few things that I've learned myself and shared over the years with students and other Lions and Leos. Go to your computer and change your password so that every single time your goal is what you're focused on by the time you type in your password. Make your password Leos to Lions or Leos 3 clubs if that's your goal, or Lions 100% transition if that's your goal. But type in your new password. And then do the exact same thing on your phone. Reset your password. If your goal is 100% transition Leo to Lion, then your password ought to be set for Leo 100, which of course is just 536100. But put this in your environment. Remind yourself of it every time you go to your computer, which can be a distraction. Every time you pick up your phone, which is a terrible distraction. So make yourself focus. And if that doesn't do it, every time you go to your refrigerator, look at that Post-it note right there that says Leos are waiting. And they're waiting for me to take the next step. Put it on your bathroom mirror. It works there as well. So control your environment. And then number two, just take one step. Call a young person, ask to meet with a youth leader, follow up with that former Leo you've lost track of. Taking that one step feels right every day. Taking no steps, however, is not an option. Take a step every day because our Leos and our Leo Lions are waiting for us to make it possible. Some days it might be, just one step forward, and some days might feel like 2 steps back and 1 step forward, but every day is a new gift. It's a new opportunity to take just one more step toward the goal. Just step out of the inertia. Step out of the status quo. Step out of whatever rut you or your club might be in. I was once told this about a rut. A rut is a shallow grave. Get out of it while you can. Or may I share a word of wisdom from a great sage from the 1900s who said,
try not, do, or do not. There is no try.
Do or do not. There is no try. So why is it so important that we all do? Because this is what I wish for you. What I want for you, what I want for Leos, what I want for Leo Lions and Lions Clubs, what I want for all of us. I want for you a life lived with no regrets. And if we take a step on this journey every day, who knows where we might end up? We might end up with Leos who invite other Leos to join with no regrets that they didn't ask. We might end up with Lions who sponsor new Leo clubs now. No regrets that you put it off till October or December, or until you retire, or until your brand new baby is 12 years old. No, no regrets. Do it now. We'll end up with Leo Lions who find a new club to join, or who start a new club if they didn't find one to join. And I want all of your lives to be lived with purpose. I want all of you to be happy, contented, meaningful, shining examples of what humankind's potential truly is. Thank you so much for choosing to live life with no regrets.
Thank you so much, VP Dr. Patty Hill. I thought your presentation was very engaging and very inspiring, of course. I thought that the pastor trick was very creative. I might have to use that for myself as well. We did have a question in the chat box. How do we track the number of Leos successfully transitioning to Leo Lions or Lions?
Well, we know that that's one of our challenges. And one of our challenges is because most of our Leos in North America in particular are alpha Leos. And we have privacy laws around sharing young people's information. And so we have to rely on adapting and adjusting as we have clubs that share information because they've got the permission to do that. Now, I'm very excited that working together, the Young Lions Task Force, the Leo Advisory Panel, are putting together recommendations. And as we ensure privacy security, then we'll be able to do that a little more effectively in terms of a global Leo database. But in the interim, you've heard it said time and time again today, build relationships. If you are in close relationship with your Leos, you will know where they've moved. You'll know if they've become a Leo Lion. You'll know how to reach out to them and ensure that they have the opportunity to continue to serve, to continue their leadership growth and their contribution as truly responsible, engaged citizens. You know, so we can have a digital solution, we can have a paper tracing solution, but we also need a human solution.
Yeah, thank you so much. And another question was, in your opinion, should a Lions Club that wishes to sponsor a Leo Club identify an advisor first, or do you think it's better to establish that club and recruit an advisor after?
Well, it can probably be done either way, but you heard the comment how it's really good to have more than one advisor. And that's sometimes because of personality fit. It's also because of time and focus and commitment. So while it may take an entire committee of people to form that new Leo club, somebody needs to take point on that and be the chair of that committee. but that may or may not end up being the Leo advisor long term. And also, let's remember that Leo advisors can change so that that Leo club enjoys fresh ideas and fresh relationships. And it's not all hinged on one person, not one Leo advisor. None of us should think that we're irreplaceable. We're all replaceable, and we should plan for that kind of strength in our approach through multiple people building multiple relationships.
And we have another question from the chat. So should districts consider adding Leos to their cabinets?
Oh, what a wonderful question, because at the April board meeting, which we just completed last month, we have brought forward not a requirement, but a recommendation that there be a Leo or a Leo Lion as a liaison to every single district cabinet. Okay, so we need Leo and Leo Lion liaisons to every district cabinet. We have learned how valuable it's been to have leaders like Posho and Kyle and Ayush, who you met today, on our board. Why would we not recommend to you that you have it on your board, on your cabinet? Absolutely. It's not a requirement, but let's think of it as one.
Yeah, definitely agree with that as well. And here's one last question, a bit of a fun one. So what are your top goals that you have found their ways into your own passwords? Maybe they might not actually be passwords, just for security reasons.
Things that I put in my password? Well, a couple of years ago, I couldn't open my computer unless I typed in 2019 Milano, because I knew that I needed to focus everything on my campaign to be elected in Milan. And so I couldn't do anything unless I started my day with that. And then every time I went back to my computer, if I was being distracted by other things that were just taking up my day, because that happens, I had to refocus the moment I touched my keyboard.
Yeah, thank you so much, VP Dr. Patty Hill. You're a great inspiration to us all. But to kind of end off this conclave, or to move on to our next kind of section, we have one last giveaway. So we have 2 gift cards this time to give away. And once the wheel is up, we can spin it. Okay, so to choose our 2 winners, please spin that wheel. But we have Chittaranjan Ash as our 3rd winner of this conclave. And to choose our 4th winner and our last winner, please spin that wheel. Thank you guys so much for coming, and you guys will be receiving your emails again, or your gift cards again via email within the next week. And I'll pass it on to Lion Subarna for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Dr. VP Patty Hill, for energizing this room, and it's always inspirational to hear you speak. So on behalf of Young Lions Task Force, I thank all our distinguished speakers, panelists who took time out on Thursday weekend to be here with us. We are extremely grateful to Dr. VP Patty Hill, PID Jenny Ware, and PDG Wendy Williams for sharing their experience, insights, with our young Leos and Lions who are present on this call. Thank you for always keeping us inspired and motivated. A big shout out to Ayush, who is not well and but came this afternoon to be here with us. Thank you for your commitment, Ayush. Thank you so much for being here with us. Most importantly, our attendees, thank you for joining us on a Saturday afternoon. I hope you all had something to take away from this conclave, to your clubs, to your districts. And most importantly, last but not the least, but I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Young Lions Task Force Chairperson Jordan Glass, who could not be here personally, but she drives us, and she drives this vision, our vision for this committee, and our champion, our tech guru, Daniel Mani Elkins. Without you, we could not have done this. Thank you. And before I let you all go, there is, a virtual on-demand seminar on Saturday, May 15th. Michelle Ray, a keynote speaker and seminar presenter at the Des Moines 2021 Forum, will be speaking on cultivating motivation with cultivating leaders, and it's a virtual seminar on May 15th. I hope you will join her, and there are other speakers. I know Daniel is also speaking there. So hopefully we'd like to see you there and see you at the forum too. With that, we leave you with some music, and we would like you to leave your comments on the chat box, what you feel about the music, what you take away from that music. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you.
Just begun.